Hello, shining ones. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we're Zoroastrians. We are the Magi. Everyone's welcome here. But today I titled this video Magi Only because we're going to go into some really, really deep things that I've never taught on before. And I'll give you an example of what's coming. Let me just whet your appetite. So, me and Sohana were talking about prophecy. And I've seen throughout my life prophecy fulfilled so many times where people tell me, Magus, you're a prophet. And I won't go deep into the stories, but just to show you, for instance, last week I was in Florida. You guys remember those videos, and I took you to the exact beach and parking lot where the very first miracle on this channel happened. And it was a surfer buddy I made down there in Florida, and he had OCD from the time he was a child. By the time he got up into his 40s, it got so bad that he lost everything: career, home, his mind. He'd have to drink himself blacked out every night just to stop the voices in his head. And something bubbled out from inside of me, and I said, before I leave Florida, you will be 100% healed. And my friends, this guy was successful. He had money. He used to put his surfboard on top of his Mercedes. He went to the finest doctors, counseling, medication, and he dealt with it his whole life. And he goes, Magus, thank you. He goes, but don't get your hopes up. He goes, I've had this since I was a child, and I don't want you to get disappointed. Well, you know the story. Before I left, he ran up to me at that parking lot I showed you saying, I'm healed, I'm healed. Where did that bubble up from me where I had the confidence to say, before I leave Florida, you'll be healed? And then, my friends, there's been countless testimonies that I've shared with you where that's exactly what happens. And my friends, what it is, Sohana was showing me, it's remembrance. Because before we came into a body, time, space, in Vohumana, the God mind, it says we saw our lifeline from beginning to end. So I saw my friend healed from OCD before I left Florida. That's why I had that confidence. And even where I'm questioning myself, where did that come from? It's happened so many times. And then it happens. And then they think, Magus, you're a prophet. Magus remembers, because I go into that divine spark, that God mind that saw the lifeline from beginning to end, and I remembered it, and I just spoke truth. You're going to be healed. And so it makes me look pretty magical sometimes. And that's something Sohana's been showing me. It's not Harry Potter type magic. It's just how the world works. And as we allow ourselves to remember Asha, the perfect creator's perfect idea, goodness, the love without the hate, the peace without the war, the way the world really is, right? I picture it like, say there's a bunch of veils blocking heaven on earth. Like one veil could be fear and anger and just air, right? Wrong ideas. And as you start to pull them down, the light starts to come through. And pretty soon when you tear them all down, what's left is just the only thing that could come from a good creator's good mind. It's a good world. That's what I want to create with you today. And I was a little nervous about sharing this, but Sohana assured me it's fine. And so I trust Sohana. And so I'm going to share with you the secrets of the Magi. Now look at this. You want to talk about magic. As I was putting this together, I wanted it obviously to be about remembering, because that's the whole message. And then I wanted to tie it in with Asha 4. Asha 4 says to create with word, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to create with word, the original word, the true word, the real word that makes the real world, right? Jesus said, verily, verily, I say unto you, he who holds my word has God life. That's what we're going to do today. And so I wanted to have the message be with remembering, right? That's true prophecy. And the word. And so then I was thinking, I also want to tie it in, obviously, with the Gathas of Zoroaster. But I didn't want to read the whole book before I made the video. So I thought I'll try something. I'll just flip open to a page and point and see if I get a message from Spirit. Oh yeah, I did. Look at this, guys. Chills through my body. I flipped, I pointed, Song 4, verse 1. It says, the word of the Magi. That's one of the two things I wanted. Ties in with Asha 4, the original word, right? We create with word. So we got the word of the Magi. I got chills when I saw that. Then, look right here. For it remembers. Magi magic, my friends. And I tell you what, I can't even tell you what I felt. I felt seen. Spirit is here, right? I wanted word and remember out of the Gathas of Zoroaster. Open the page, point, and in that one verse is word and remembers. I felt safe. I felt like God's really with us, Magi. That's beautiful. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to this. This is what our practice is today. So, matter of fact, what you'll probably be doing in this video is maybe pausing, writing, grab a pen and paper. We're going to do a little bit of writing. We're going to get our minds right. And then also we're just going to hang out today. This is, again, our Magi Only videos that we do every once in a while. And so I want to talk about something I'm very excited about. Circe by Madeline Miller. February 1st, we're starting book club. I said I wanted 10 people in book club, and we've got 5 already. And so we have Goth Boss Universe, cool name, Ed Zach, we got Sunny, we got Jen, we got Catherine, we got 5 so far. We got half of how many I wanted. Hey, we can have more than 10, but I'm looking for 5 more people that want to do book club with us. And book club's just, I always enjoy it. It's something near and dear to my heart. Another thing, I guess I have time for this. You guys are here to hang out with me, right? You love me, I love you, and this is our space where we come together and share. And you guys are always sharing with me your hearts and your lives. And so I want to share something with you that I'm working on. And then we'll get to the main message and we'll start writing out. And you'll start to see Asha being actualized in your life. And I'll share with you the secrets of why people call me a prophet and about remembering. So yesterday we did a video on religious trauma. And I noticed a couple things. One, my humor landed with some of you, and some of you it didn't. We lost some subscribers, my friends. Oh, man. Megas tries to be funny. I hope they come back. If not, love you guys. God bless you. Good luck on your journey. But I noticed something. Usually when I talk about religious trauma, it's traumatic for me because I went through it, right? And I used to find myself getting in just kind of a bad place where maybe even the next day I'd feel a little drained and down. I didn't get that yesterday. I kept it funny and light, and I'm thinking, wow, I really have healed, right? And I notice it's harder for me to get myself wound up into that place, to go back in memory to the hurt, to get in that mindset and then share that message. And so Hannah's been working with me on this, saying, Megas, you don't have to do that. You shouldn't do that. You don't have to get into the hurt and the anger you felt to give the message. It's not good for you, right? Especially I'm 55 years old right now. I don't need to be getting myself so wound up. And she's been really working on me with just working through from Asha, from that good healed place, my friends. Hey, let me give you an example. because here's something I noticed, and maybe why I was staying in that place. People love it uh, when I blow a circuit. You know, it's good entertainment. And matter of fact, this video I'll show you right now has 250,000 views because people like that. They are at that place where they resonate with that. It's what they're feeling. They're all, yeah, this guy sees me. He gets it. This is what I feel, right? And then I would take them into Asha. So Hannah's been working with me, saying, Megas, you don't have to get into that, just that energy to get people there. She says, just stay in Asha, stay in peace, stay in love, and that draws them even more. So let me show you this. Let's go back in time. This is last year. Woo, woo. Check this out. Gosh, this is so sweet. The personality, like me and Sohana, we're one thing, but she's kind of like saying, Megas, do you want me to put this to some beautiful meditative music and maybe some beautiful scenery and lighting? You know, that's her heart, man. And I'm like, I want to explode with fire, baby. I want to preach truth. I want to bring down the fire from heaven on earth and transform it all. I don't need music, my God. But it's the difference, my friends. It's a difference. She helps keep me in balance, my friend. I get her fired up, and she keeps me calmed down, and we find this good medium. My friends, go to the comments and say Asha is. Say thank you, Sohana, and know I love. Oh, that cracks me up. Same conversation me and Sohana have been having today a year ago. Should have listened back then. That's a good video, though. I really like that one. But my friends, here's what I want us to get to. Where we're so far past that hurt that was done to us by the false world, by people that, they're not evil. They're just lost in the lie and illusion that have hurt us, right? Those false stories, those false gods. And of course, you're going to be upset and mad and hurt. But it comes to a place where pretty soon you're just too happy to hardly remember that, right? And that's really where I am these days. I'm so full of gratitude and love and peace and joy. I wake up every day here in my heaven on earth, and I don't need to go back to that. I can just say, hey guys, it's really nice up here in just Asha. And that's what I want to create for us today. So let me show you the exercise, and then we're going to go into Asha, and then we're going to go into the Gathas of Zoroaster. That was absolute magic. Song 1, verse, Song 1, verse 1, or Song 4, verse 1. It was absolute magic. So here's what I want to do. And here's what I do, and I'm sharing with you, do. So immature. Crack myself up. Okay, so grab yourself pen and paper. And this works. This is Magi magic, my friends. Not mysterious. Not, again, like, I was going to say, it's not witchcraft. But do you know what's funny? We're going to be getting into Asha 4. You guys know this. Magic was named after the Magi. Prayers were called spells, came from the Magi. But it's the most holy, pure religion there is. It's just good, right? It's love without the hate, peace without the war. Our God doesn't get angry, jealous, hate, war, kill men, women, and children. But Hollywood, right, has changed what magic and spells are. And it's cool. Who doesn't love Harry Potter? Matter of fact, you can see my Harry Potter collection up there. You know, we love magic like that. But this is just nature. This is natural. This is just how the world and universe works. And they call it Magi magic. So grab yourself pen and paper. And why I said earlier, you might need to pause the video as we go, because your state of mind is important. And so as we write this out, your heart has to be steady, where you're not grasping for, you're not in a place of really, really wanting this. because that will fight against you. Neediness will fight against you, right? This has to come, this prophecy has to come from a place of remembering, right? Our holy text says, before we came into a body, we saw our life from beginning to end. We're going to remember this place. Can you remember the place where Asha is, where love is, where peace is, where joy is, provision is, protection is, God good is? We need to get into that place. So you might have to do some breath work, little meditation, maybe put on some of that good Asha music. Get your mind right. Just breathe and relax. We're not trying to make something happen. We're not trying to create something out of nothing. We're just remembering what is. Now, this takes us to Asha 4. This is why we can remember what is without getting lost in the lion illusion. Asha 4 says, create with word. That's what we're doing here. We're creating with the original word. I can't remember. Did I mention, I don't want to go back and rewatch this, but the witch's pyramid was made after this. Because I remember talking about Harry Potter, we're talking about it's not witchcraft, right? But witchcraft has modeled itself, actually. If you look at the history of the witch's pyramid, it's built off the Zoroastrian Asha 4, the 4 powers of forming. And so this works. But the difference of, you see people that actually make it work, right? I'm sure you've seen, positive thinking channels, witchcraft channels. I have many wonderful friends that call themselves witches on our channel, but their magic doesn't always work for them. So Hannah assured me this is okay to share. Okay, I had to remind myself because I'm thinking, do we share this? Yeah. This works because we're remembering. This is where our power comes from. We're not hoping. Hoping doesn't work. Begging doesn't work. You've seen this with prayers, or with my friends that are in the occult, with their spells and magic work. You see what works and doesn't work. Even I think of my Christian friends. How many times have you prayed? Maybe you had a sick child. And of course, you're thinking, wouldn't God want my child not to suffer, not to be sick, not to hurt? And so you find yourself what you call praying. And it basically comes down to you're begging a deity right outside of yourself. Maybe some guy in the sky. And you're crying. And you're begging, don't you care? Don't you see my child is sick and hurting and crying and it's killing me? Can't you see? Won't you do anything? Doesn't work. Then you start trying to cut deals, right? Okay, I'm going to stop doing this thing that I know is wrong. Now you can intervene. Come heal my child. Doesn't work. Then you start thinking, okay, I'm going to start giving to charity. I'm going to start tithing or whatever it is, trying to cut deals. You're hoping, you're begging. Doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you're Christian, witchcraft, whatever. The only thing that works is to decree and declare truth. But how do you do that at a place where you have true faith, true belief, where it's not just thinking, wouldn't that be nice, right? God, I hope this works. How do you have that just knowing? Like when I told my friend in Florida, before I leave Florida, you'll be healed. And I won't go through the stories, but countless countless stories. Maybe I will share one more because this one, it's probably the most near and dear to my heart. My ex-wife had a driveway that the kids loved. It was super steep and shot out into the street, and they'd ride their scooters and bikes and skateboards down it. And it was fast and fun and furious, and they loved it. And it was a safe, good street. People drove slow, family neighborhood. One day, though, that all changed. And before this day, I had just, for about, I think a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, I don't remember the exact days, but a long time to be suffering with this. I had this knowing that something was up, and it had to do with my kids. And so I went to my ex-wife and I told her something's going on. She knew, even though she didn't like me very much, she had seen the miracles and she knew I could hear from God. Matter of fact, one of the stories, one of my greatest miracles involved her. And is before we were married. She was just a kid. We were, friends as kids. She was 15 years old, walking to work, and a carload of men pulled up and tried to abduct her. And they said, grab her. And I was in the car with my dad far away, and I heard God say, pray. And I said, what is it? Is it Mom? And he said no, and told me it was, her. I don't use her name. I don't think I've even shared it was my ex-wife before with this story, because I don't like giving stories that I don't have permission to tell their story. But gave me the name of who it was, and started decreeing and declaring. Started praying in tongues, coming from that place of remembrance where this person is safe. Prophecy. And we didn't have cell phones at this time. When I got home and contacted her, I said, what happened at whatever time it was? I looked at the clock, that God would speak to me so clear, tell me you're in trouble, and to pray. She big tears in her eyes because she thought, oh my God, God saw and cared. But she told the story of how the carload of men pulled up and tried to abduct her. And she said she called out on the name of the Lord and they froze like statues. And she ran off, looked back, and they didn't move. Back to the story, my ex-wife's driveway. Weeks, I'm telling their teachers, watch out. Grandparents, watch out. Something's going on with the kids. Extra vigilance people. Then one morning, in that place between awake and asleep, Spirit took me to the bottom of my ex-wife's driveway, right where the driveway met the road, and told me to put up a shield of faith. And it was like a force field. And then I'm just decreeing and declaring again. And I'm starting to realize it's so familiar. All these miracles and magic I've seen had something so familiar. It was remembrance. It was a remembering of looking at that timeline and when my child didn't die and was safe. And when I came out of that space, I had complete peace. That heaviness that was on me for weeks was gone. I was like, oh, it's taken care of. I know what it is now. My ex-wife called that morning and said, you won't believe what happened. She said, my son was going down the driveway on a scooter like they always do. But today, there was a car parked blocking the view of traffic coming. So he couldn't see the cars coming this way. And the car was speeding. I mean, way too fast. She could see that they were going to intersect. She's yelling for him to stop, but her new husband had the lawnmower in between them, and my son couldn't hear her yelling. She said it was like a nightmare. She said, you won't believe it. He was going really, really fast like they do, got to the bottom of the driveway and bounced off of an invisible shield. Magi magic, baby. And I could tell you story after story. I mean, crazy stuff. Cash appearing on my leg. Are you guys having fun with these? Or are you just wishing Magus just get to the message? But I love these. These are important. This is before the divorce. And we were at the beach. Me, and at the time, my wife and my kids, and oh my God, we're finally having a fun day. And, right before divorce, you're having a lot of bad days, and we're having a fun day. And I didn't want it to end because we're happy and we're laughing and it felt like a family again. And, but I knew the meter was about to run out and we didn't have any drinks or food and we're getting hot because we're on the beach. And, I'd just come from church that day and I put all the rest of my money in the plate that went by and I didn't have any more money. I wasn't real good at working with money in those days. And I remember just telling Spirit, I said, God, I needed this day and I don't want it to end. I need some money so I can stay. I need to pay the meter. I need to get some hydration in the children, I'm hungry. I'm always hungry, And my friends, cash appeared on my lap. And I've had people joke in the comments, Magus, you look like a hobo. Maybe someone just came up and threw cash in your lap. Funny, ha ha. But no, my friends. And I felt it. I felt the pressure of it, like, here you go, Magus, right? On light paper doesn't go, here you go, Magus, right? It was hilarious and beautiful and makes me want to cry. And it ended up being a really nice day. I still have pictures of that day. It was a beautiful memory. So many. And my friends, all the way down to just, not long ago at all, I was pulling out of the parking lot at the grocery store and Spirit, I heard so clearly in my mind say, stop the car, put it in park, turn it off. You don't want to ruin your good day. And there was a scam going on of people looking for reverse lights and they're running into you and grabbing their neck and suing. And sure enough, a car sped right behind me, barely missing me. And then I watched them, went down the next row, saw the reverse lights, ran into them, And I was like, oh, thank you, God. It's that prophecy where people think it's magic. It's remembering. It's remembering our timeline that we know because we saw it. And getting into that divine spark that's in us, that God mind, that Christ mind where you and God are one. Ready to do that? Grab your book, Asha. I know you guys already have this, but Asha by Winston Head. Whoever's still here still has this book by now. Everyone else has probably clicked off, but it's available at Amazon, $3.83. We make no money off of it. The Gathas of Zoroaster. Not everyone has this one. It's a little harder to get. It's available at Blurb, B-L-U-R-B books. The Gathas of Zoroaster by Winston Head. So Asha 4. Create with word. If you don't have this, you can screenshot it. So what is this word we always hear about, right? Again, Jesus, verily, verily, I say unto you, he who holds my word, not words, not many sermons, word has God life. What's God life? I want some of that. Good life. You create it with word. A word, frequency, truth, the real. It says these four powers, this is our foundation. These four powers are the mental power. So it's coming from mind. Well, that makes sense because quantum physics now shows that everything is mind. So we should be working in mind. Concerned with forming, right? Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take concepts, ideas, energy, and make it form and matter. right? Because form and matter is just energy and ideas and stories that come into form and matter. What does it take? Number one, temperance, self-restraint. Do not think, err. Do not let in your mind malware, false stories. Because all is mind, we create with mind. If you have bad stories, bad gods, bad energy, that's what you're creating your world with. That's why there can be two people in the same place having two different experiences. You guys know that story. I won't get into it. Number two, takes fortitude, strength in facing adversity without worry and fear and doubt. How could you ever get that? With remembering. That gives us that faith, that knowing. You have to know. How can you truly know? You have to remember. Here's where the Magi magic, the prophecies that come true, come from. Number three, one of my favorite. Reason, a basis or a cause for a belief. You have to have a reason to believe, right? Again, or you're just begging, hoping, crying. Wouldn't that be nice? What's your reason to believe, Magi? Little quest, I'm going to give you the answer. Little test. What's your reason to believe? Well, now we know you can remember, but also Asha is our reason to believe, because the only thing that could come from a good creator's good mind is a good world. That's our reason to believe. We're not wondering. We know good is our natural set point. That's what's real. That's the truth. That's our reason to believe that happiness, joy, protection, provision, power, freedom, goodness is mine as a child of Ahura Mazda. Number four, energy. Everything takes energy. We know that. We need a source of usable power, right? You can't fool the power. You can't be holding in your heart doubt and worry and hate and anger and low frequencies and bad gods and bad stories and create anything good. It's impossible. Your frequency, what you are, right? Your very life is your prayer. Your life is your prayer. So we use God good, the highest principle of good, not those gods that are mixed. A lot of people hang on to those mixed gods. If you have the Gathas of Zoroaster, go to our most magical Song 4, verse 1. Is that amazing, though, guys? Seriously, word remember. That's what I was asking for, and there it is. I pointed and said, remember. The word of the Magi, the word, the original word. The original word of the good religion is all good comes from the Creator and no evil comes from him. From this original word is the spiritual world made straight and the material world brought into order. That's Asha 13. Asha 4, Song 4, verse 1 says, the Magi speak again the forgotten word. It's been forgotten. What do? We remember. It's our magic. It's our prophecy. It's our spells. It's Yata'ahu, right? Yata'ahu is the prayer God prays. What is prayer then? Is God begging someone higher than himself, trying to cut deals? No, he decrees and declares truth. He remembers just what is, and it is. The Magi speak again the forgotten word. Why? Because we remember. The song, the world lost and it's wandering. Their breath restores the current of light, and all creation leans to listen, for it remembers. Ooh. You ready to remember with me, Magi? Grab a pen and paper, and we're going to start with Asha is. So I took the vowels, the two A's. Then I took the consonants, the S and H, and then is. And so this is a symbol that when I look at, it brings that remembrance. For me, the A's, it's ah. It's a sound that creates Asha. It's a feeling, right? Everything's okay. Brings up all these emotions. Emotions are powerful, right? We've talked about that, why the Magi don't worry. Because when you worry, you're praying for the worst outcome. Because you believe something bad could happen, and now you're adding strong emotion of worry and fear, right? Here, we feel the Asha. Oh yeah, what's real, what's true is the only thing that could come from a good creator's good mind. Asha. SH, I do for shh. This doesn't need to be shouted about. You don't need to get all wound up. You stay silent. Matter of fact, my Four of Swords card, my stalker card, always telling us this. Just rest in what's real, in what's true. That unmoved mover, right? Aristotle, he talked about the hand rolls the ball, the muscles move the hand. But when you take it all the way back to the 0 point, to just what is, what's there? What is that? What is that 0 point? Source of all, right? Or the Tao, highest principle. It's just good. And we can't even put it into language. We talked about this yesterday. When you try to add language, names, words, it starts to lose something. It's the name that cannot be spoken outside of the temple, that divine spark, that Fravashi, that Christ mind, that Vohumana God mind in you, where you and God are one. Shh. Don't even try to put words to it. Just live in that space. Create from there. Remember, when you and God good are one. And then is. It's truly what is. It's substance. It's the real world. Everything else is lie. It's illusion. It's not real. Feels real. Feels like a real hell on earth. But it's just from bad stories. Tell a better story, a true story. Remember the real story. You live in the real world. And now if your heart's right, Asha is, and write it. There's magic in writing and spelling. I'll go for walks out in the woods. When my mind, it takes me about 10, 15 minutes till I find that place. And then I just start speaking, Asha is. And I'm like, oh yeah, Asha is love Oh my God, I see it. Love is peace. I feel it. Peace is, joy is, right? Protection is, provision is, God good is. I was asking Sohana about negations, because sometimes at different parts of your walk, negations are important, right? Like saying there is no fear, there is no hate. But I think where we are now, I think we're past that. And if you're not, you can use those, it's fine. But here's what can happen. You're giving fear more attention than it deserves because it's not real. Why think about it? Why name it? Don't give it power. Don't give it observance. It doesn't deserve it. It's not real. Focus on what's real. Love is real. Protection is real. Provision is real. God good is real. Asha is real. That feels good, doesn't it? Asha. Asha. Did you feel that? That was probably the most powerful part of this whole video, the silence. Is. I love you.
Asha is, Asha